welcome back to Mindful Progress A Journey. I'm your host, Torrid Embrox, and tonight we're stepping into a world where mirrors lie, voices deceive, and your worst enemy might be wearing your face. A world built by distortions, corrupted tapes, and the collapse of identity itself. A world known as the Mandela Catalogue. Tonight, we're diving deep, not just into the lore, not just into the stories, but into what these analog horrors say about us, about fear, about fate, and about the terrifying ethical questions that arise when reality itself becomes unreliable. This is not simply a horror breakdown. This is an exploration into identity, moral responsibility, psychological warfare, and what it means when truth cannot be trusted. Imagine you're home alone. It's late, around 2:30 in the morning. You get a knock at the door 3 times, soft, deliberate. You check the camera, and there you see yourself. Same face, same clothes, smiling like it knows something you don't. This is the core of the Mandela Catalogue. Alternates, creatures not of flesh but of idea, shapeshifters that imitate, distort, and replace. But they don't kill you with claws or teeth, they kill you psychologically. Your mind snaps under the weight of the impossible. Your reality fractures. You stop being sure that you are you, and in many cases, that alone is enough to make them win. When we first encounter alternates, the horror isn't physical, it's existential. Think about it. If your identity can be copied perfectly, if your reflection can step out of the mirror, if your voice can call your mother and convince her it's you, who are you really? Where do we draw the line between person and imposter? Between truth and imitation? In the world of Mandela Catalogue, identity is fragile. Humanity itself is fragile. And the government, overwhelmed, terrified, begins to issue directives that cross ethical lines we'll discuss later. Lines that blur survival with self-destruction. But before that, let's go back to where this story begins. One of the earliest beings we meet is the Intruder, a tall, distorted figure with a stretched, smiling face that barely resembles human anatomy. He appears in emergency broadcasts. His image interrupts children's TV shows. His voice whispers instructions. Don't trust your eyes. Don't trust your family. Don't trust yourself. The intruder is a psychological weapon, a virus made of imagery. He doesn't need to be in your house. He just needs you to see him. And once you do, he plants the seed of doubt that alternates thrive on. In analog horror, especially Mandela Catalogue, the monster doesn't attack your body. It attacks your paradigm. The intruder isn't simply a scary face. He is a cognitive hazard. Just seeing him is dangerous. Understanding him is destabilizing. This raises a terrifying ethical dilemma. If information itself is dangerous, is censorship moral? Should governments hide the truth to protect the public? Or does that secrecy doom us to ignorance? In Mandela's universe, the government chooses secrecy, but not out of malice, out of fear. We'll see this clearly in the story of Cesar Torres and Mark Heathcliff. Cesar receives a call from an alternate imitation of his mother. It sounds close enough, familiar enough that he doesn't question it. And that's all it takes. Mark, later, becomes paranoid, isolated, tormented by something that mimics him in the darkness. These early episodes show us that alternates don't rush to replace their victims, they erode them. They implant fear, doubt, paranoia, and isolation. Then, when the victim is mentally fractured, they strike. Not physically, but by replacing the victim in the eyes of others. To an alternate, replacing someone's identity is more efficient than ending their life. Trust is the glue that holds civilization together. But in Mandela's catalogue, trust becomes impossible. If an alternate can mimic your loved one perfectly, if they can call you, speak like you, even move like you, then every person you know becomes a threat. This isn't just horror, it's societal collapse. Think about how fragile society becomes when you can't trust your parents, your children, your government, your reflection, heck, even your own memories. When truth dies, everything else follows. And that's exactly what alternates want. One of the most fascinating and unnerving parts of Mandela Catalogue is its religious reinterpretation. We learn that the being posing as Gabriel isn't the biblical angel, but a hostile entity rewriting fate itself. In Adam and Eve's story, the imposter twists divine intent. Warm red tones wash over the screen, a visual signature of alternate influence. It suggests something deeper. Alternates don't just mimic humans, they mimic belief systems, scripture, and memories. They rewrite the past to control the present. If you can impersonate an angel, a prophet, a deity, you can rewrite morality itself. People follow divine authority, they trust it blindly. So what happens when that authority is hijacked? Mandela Catalogue uses religion not to mock faith, but to show how powerful belief is, and how vulnerable it becomes when manipulated by malicious forces. If alternates can corrupt divine communication, how do you distinguish divine messages from deception? This question haunts the entire series. Eventually, we see something extraordinary, a war between divine factions. The real Gabriel, the one from heaven, is at odds with the impostor. This isn't just light versus dark, it's truth versus distortion. The Mandela Catalogue suggests that alternates were not created but unleashed, a consequence of cosmic conflict spilling into human reality. And humanity is simply caught in the crossfire. Our world becomes the battlefield, our minds become the terrain, and our identities become the weapons. Alternates don't need to defeat heaven, they only need to corrupt us. Because if humanity loses trust, loses faith, loses identity, we tear ourselves apart. This brings us to one of the darkest elements of the Mandela universe, the self-termination directives. Emergency broadcasts instruct civilians to take their own lives if an alternate is in their home. This is the ultimate moral collapse. When the government believes humanity cannot be saved, when fear overrides reason, when survival is deemed impossible, they choose the path of least resistance, limiting alternate success by eliminating their hosts. It's not evil, it's not malicious, it's despair, a system that has already accepted defeat. In the finale of the series so far, we see humanity fractured, survivors hiding behind boarded doors, faith leaders doubting their own visions, police overwhelmed by inexplicable reports, citizens unable to trust their own senses. The Mandela Catalogue ends not with a conclusion, but with a question. If the enemy can look exactly like us, how do we win? The answer isn't given, because in this world, winning might not be possible. The Mandela Catalogue is horror, yes, but it's also a mirror. It reflects our fear of losing identity, our fear of misinformation, our fear of betrayal, our fear of the unknown that wears a familiar face, but most importantly, it forces us to ask the question, what makes you, you? Is it your memories, your voice, your body, or your relationships, or maybe something deeper, something no alternate can imitate? The Mandela Catalogue doesn't answer this question, but it encourages us to search for that truth within ourselves. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I do hope you will watch the Mandela Catalogue. It was a great watch that I did the past month, and I just thought I should have made an episode on this, and I did. This has been Mindful Progress, a journey. I'm Torrid Embrox. Stay aware, stay grounded, and as always, stay mindful.